Hi YouTube, and welcome to another video. Today I'm in my sewing room and I'm going to start the process of making a quilt. Quilting is my first love. I am a quilter. I've been quilting for 25 years, maybe longer. So I've designed a quilt, and it's a praise quilt. It is a quilt that is a crossword puzzle, and all the words on the puzzle are the attributes of God. And this is going to be a pretty big quilt that I'm going to make. I designed it in an app that was on my iPhone years ago, and the app doesn't even exist anymore. But I was able to save it and print it out, and I've had it for a while. It was a project I was going to start in 2020, but I got sick in January of 2020, and then after that the pandemic happened, and so I wasn't able to start it because it was going to be a project that I started with my friends. I have a sewing group that I sew and quilt and craft with friends once a month, and so this was going to be a project that I was going to work on our craft day, but we haven't had craft day. And then I got into making masks for the pandemic, so I kind of got out of quilting. But now the mask making is kind of ended, and so I didn't do as much sublimation as I had hoped over the holidays. I like to make the crafts, and then I had a salesperson who was selling it, but then she had some difficulties, and so she wasn't selling as much, which is okay. So I just have a bunch of stuff that I'll save for next year. Hopefully in 2021 I'll be able to get a website going, and then maybe my stuff can sell itself. And then I'll go from there. But for now, I'm going to start on my quilting project. So this is, like I said, this is my praise quilt. It was designed by me. And so this is the puzzle with the words on it. And I'm going to do mine in purple. So everywhere you see blue, it's going to be purple. So what I do is I make a master copy. And then I also make a blank copy. So that way I can count how many white squares I have going across, or how many other squares I have going across, and then I can kind of design it in that fashion. So I'm looking forward to putting this quilt together in 2021, but I'm going to get it started in 2020 since it was supposed to be my 2020 project. Also, I have cut up all the strips that I need for the quilt. My friend has an AccuQuilt, a big electronic thing, and she has some strips that I can run them through the machine. It's electronic, and it cuts the strips into 2.5 inches. So I use that, and I cut up a whole big bag of strips of a bunch of fabric that I have. So this bag is full of 2.5 inch strips. So I've already started sewing them together. I sew them in rows of 2 by 2. So here's some that I've sewn together already. So, and here's like what they start off with. So I'll sew 2 together, and then I'll just keep chain piecing 2, and then I'll cut those apart, and then I'll take 2, and then I'll put 4 together, and then I'll do that a bunch, and then I'll put 8 together. I won't do any more than 10 strips. This one has 8 strips in it, but I won't do any more than 10 strips at a time. So and then I won't put any two of the same fabrics in that group of 10. So what I'll do with this, after I get all these pressed, all these sewn together, I'll take them and I'll press all the seams one way. So on the back there's the seams, and I'll press all the seams one way. Then what I'll do is I'll take and I will cut them, subcut them into 2.5 inch sections. And then that's how I'll start putting my quilt together. And then I'll also take some white fabric that I haven't cut up yet. I'll take some white fabric that I'm going to use for where the letters are going to be. The letters are going to be in white fabric. And what I'm going to do there is I'm going to cut some strips and sew some strips together. And then the letters are going to be cut out with my Cricut, and I'm going to cut the letters out in black glitter vinyl. That's what I'm going to cut the letters out with. And then I'll use my heat press to press them on, or probably I'll use my easy press because it'll be easier to press on a little at a time instead of trying to get the big quilt under my heat press once that's done. So I'll take you along on my journey as I work on my project. I'll probably come back and do little update videos periodically and show you my progress of how it's going. So stay tuned. I hope that you will enjoy coming along on this process with me as I make my quilt. So God bless you. Stay tuned for my updates, and I'll catch you in the next video. God bless. You have an awesome and an amazing day. Bye.